Fresh off winning the program's 4th Mountain West Championship, Fresno State is headed to Hollywood for the bowl season. Bulldogs are making the program's 31st bowl appearance and will meet the Washington State Cougars in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Hi everybody, I'm Jesse Kurtz here in the Mountain West Network studio. For more on the Bulldogs, we head out to the San Joaquin Valley and bring in the voice of the Bulldogs, Paul Loeffler. Amigo, it's great to see you. How are you?
Fantastic, Jesse. Can't wait to see all the excitement this Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl will bring. A lot of unpredictability, I'm sure, in the build-up, but hopefully a fantastic game.
Well, I know there's going to be great players in this game, and let's start with the alpha dog in the Bulldogs locker room, quarterback Jake Haener, who will start in his 2nd consecutive bowl game for Fresno State. He's had a sensational season since returning from that broken ankle, helping to lead the Bulldogs on this current 8-game win streak, which is tied for the 5th longest active streak nationally. What did he prove to everybody with his level of play after what was supposed to be a season-ending injury?
Well, I mean, he proved that he is one tough cookie without question, and his determination to get back on the field, everything he had to go through, seeking second opinions, getting all kinds of unique medical care, and just the drive and determination to get back on the field. His teammates noticed that. That made an impression on them, and that called out the best in them. And then you look at his performance on the field. I mean, you wouldn't know that this was a guy who had his ankle broken, in week 3 against USC, because he was just flat out dynamic. He was dominant. He was picking defenses apart since he came back from injury. I mean, he completed 75% of his passes, 18 touchdowns on the year, just 3 picks, and just leadership off the charts. It was so fun to watch him grow, to watch this team navigate through adversity and do something that I think a lot of people didn't think they could.
Well, when he's on the field, special things happen. He's thrown a touchdown pass in 28 consecutive games. That is a Mountain West record, which broke the previous record, which was held by Carson Strong and some guy named Derek Carr, who also played in that stadium behind you. All right, let's talk about defense. Defensively, on this current 8-game win streak, the Bulldogs have given up 16 or less points 6 times. What has been behind this defensive turnaround?
Well, I think it's a few things, Jesse. One, Kevin Coyle was a new coordinator to Fresno State this year. Well, I shouldn't say new to Fresno State because he was here with Pat Hill 25 years ago. That's a long time ago. Since then, he's been in the NFL. He's been a coordinator at the highest levels. And his system was something the players had to get used to. And then you had injuries. The same day Jake Haener got hurt at USC, Evan Williams, their best defensive player, he went out. He came back the same game as Jake did against San Diego State. That's had an impact. The emergence of David Perales as a premier pass rusher, that certainly made a difference. But I think more than anything, it took time for the players to get comfortable and confident in this system, and that's what we've seen. Now they're where they're supposed to be before they're supposed to be there. Everybody is clicking. It's all working together as one real dominant unit. And they have a swagger now that they really understand what they're supposed to do. I'm looking forward to another dominant performance against Washington State, especially the way the secondary just absolutely locked down on Boise State's receivers in that championship game.
Yeah, Cam Lockridge was something special. A couple of picks in that championship game win in Boise a couple of weeks ago. All right, let's talk about this Washington State defense. They'll be shorthanded in this game, and there's a familiar name that won't be in the lineup for the Cougars. Their top tackler, Dayan Henley, who is a Nevada transfer, he was 2nd-team All-Mountain West during his time in Reno, has opted out of the game. What sort of challenges do you see this Cougars defense presenting to the Bulldogs offense?
That I think is the X factor in this game, and maybe a little bit for Washington State's offense too, because there are some players who aren't playing in this bowl game. You don't know what you're going to get. It's also a bowl game where, a coach might approach it as having nothing to lose. He's going to break out some wrinkles, maybe some plays they repped during the year that they never got to put on display in a game. And from a defensive standpoint, you're going to have some guys playing for the Cougars who are trying to earn their spot for next year, trying to impress the coaches. So there could be a breakout star this game for Washington State. But from Fresno State's perspective, I think the priorities remain the same. You really have to do a good job of protecting Jake Haener. You need to have some kind of run game, and Jordan Mims went over 1,000 yards this year, was consistent. Malik Sherrod's a good change of pace. So I think you just have to do what this staff did a great job of all year, being ready to make in-game adjustments, not being locked into a game plan that's set in stone, but saying, hey, Washington State's going to throw some crazy stuff at us. Let's be ready to adapt on the fly.
Well, it has worked very well here recently for the Bulldogs. 8-game win streak. They'll gun for a 9th straight in this bowl game. Paul, appreciate the insight. Happy holidays to you and your family, and travel safe down south to Los Angeles.
Right back at you, and let's enjoy this bowl season. It's been a magnificent turnaround year for the Bulldogs. They've inspired a lot of people along the way, and during this holiday season, nothing feels better than that. So hopefully there's one more. To be the first team ever to go from 1-4 to 10-4, that would be special.
That's Paul Loeffler, the voice of the Fresno State Bulldogs. You can watch the 5th all-time matchup between Fresno State and Washington State in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl on Saturday, December 17th. Kickoff is set for 12:30 p.m. Pacific time and will be televised by ABC. From the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Jesse Kurtz.